First off, I'd like to thank Mark over at Proclaim His Word for his recent video, The Great Falling Away, Apostasy. It brought to mind something, because he was mentioning a lot about the charismatic movement and stuff like that, Pentecostals and charismatics, especially the Toronto Blessing, the Brownsville Revival, the Lakeland Revival, and how much of a mess they wound up becoming. Now, I've got my own little personal experience with the charismatics. I received Christ in 1989, and it's definitely been a journey in sanctification, to say the least. But what happened was, a few months after that, I got invited to a church in Colorado Springs. Mind you, I was stationed at Fort Carson, Colorado, outside of Colorado Springs, from January of 1989 to, I want to say it was about July of 1990. So in the final 5 months I was there, I had been invited to New Life Church, which was, at that time, pastored by its founder, none other than Ted Haggard himself. And I gotta admit, you know, when I heard about the whole thing breaking with Ted Haggard and his thing with the male prostitute, you know, I wasn't sure what to say about it at the time. You know, I guess it didn't, I was surprised because I didn't expect it to happen, because, you know, he had definitely built up a reputation as being one that won over an entire city over to Christ, when a lot of the rumors to the grapevine said that nothing could be further from the truth. At any rate, I will say this much, you know, Ted did nothing to me personally. Okay, so let me just get that out of the way. Although when I did tell him I was leaving, he goes, "Why?" You know, he put his hand on my shoulder, you know, like that, as, you know, lightly. But he asked me why, like a tone of concern, and I said, well, because I'm getting posted over to Germany. But so he goes, "Oh, okay." But I guess I was a little taken aback at his shock, and that's basically all I got to say about the contact that, you know, he and I had. You know, because there was nothing really major about that, except that I was a little startled by his response. But I will say this much: there was spiritual abuse. I suffered at the hands of it, because these very same GIs that invited me threw on all sorts of legalistic arguments on me. I wasn't praising God enough. I wasn't shouting loudly and fervently enough. It was a real serious head game, and it turned me into a head case. And so, in the time that I wish I could have been growing stronger in the Lord, this actually set me back. But in the silver lining behind it, though, is that I got to experience what the charismatics could be like. And I'm not saying this is true of every Pentecostal charismatic church, but I'm sure that there is a lot of spiritual abuse going on in them too. And I'm not saying it just happens with the Pentecostals and charismatics. I'm sure it happens in other denominations. But it just seemed to me that there's a trend, and it's not a good one, and it is actually very harmful to the body of Christ. And I'm sure some members of New Life Church will probably see this and go, things have changed so much. I will leave that opinion up to you. But I'm just saying that this is what happened to me. And I'm sure that there are probably some other people that may have experienced the same thing, and have either grown to regret going there or have been completely turned off to Christ altogether. Either way, you know, I really feel your pain. And I'm just sharing with you what I experienced. Thanks for watching, and God bless.